With how long PC handhelds have now really solidified as a product category, I didn't really anticipate any newcomers anytime soon, especially from some established brands, because I feel like if they wanted to, they probably would have done so by now. The next company I thought that would have made the jump into the PC handheld space would have been Alienware, a division of Dell, but still, Alienware themselves aren't foreign to the idea. They originally had a concept device a few years ago that they displayed at, I think, CES or something. It was very similar to how the Legion Go works. It had detachable controllers, a kickstand, a very interesting device, but nothing ever materialized out of that. So this most recent announcement of the Acer Nitro 7 is incredibly interesting. Acer was probably the company I would have thought of least entering the PC handheld space. Especially using the Nitro branding, I'm led to believe this might be a more affordable option. Considering their most popular line of gaming laptops, the Nitro line has always been more of a budget offering rather than a high-end gaming laptop device you would purchase. Acer announced this device midway through last week, and it was a very interesting device. I'll run through the specs of what we know so far. It has a 7-inch display, a 144Hz refresh rate with VSync Premium, which is awesome to see, a AMD Ryzen 7 8840U, which is what we've grown to expect, a 2TB M.2 SSD with 16GB of LPDDR5X memory, clocked at about 7,500 megatransfers per second, Wi-Fi 6E, and has two USB 4.0 ports, 40 gigs, so they both support external graphics cards. It comes with a 3-month subscription of Game Pass Ultimate, and of course this has Windows 11. So overall, it was a pretty standard PC handheld. Nothing we've not seen before, very similar to the Zotac Zone, just minus the OLED display. But something I learned from watching a different YouTuber's coverage of the device, ETA Prime had discovered that this might be a rebranded device made from a different company. The device from Terrence Force, the company that they are purchasing and probably having build this device, originally released their device about 8 months ago. It was released only in China. It was called the Handle 5. Turns out they were originally going to make a Handle 7. Slight differences in specs, but functionally the same device, which you might think, oh, is this a good or a bad thing? It's not necessarily either. If I had to choose, it's probably a smart decision. A quick and easy way to jump into the handheld space very quickly. Buying an established design from an already established maker of these handhelds is a cheap and easy way to get in the handheld scene without having to put in all the effort all the other companies had to do. And that leads me to believe that this device should be coming out relatively soon. That is one of the two pieces of information we do lack at this time. We do not know when this device is coming out, and we also do not know how much this device is going to cost. But I am given to, some speculation that this device, given the fact that it uses the Nitro branding, should be on the more affordable side. I'm going to say Steam Deck levels of affordability, but I'm thinking maybe around the $500 to $600 price point ideally. But if it is around that $800 price point amongst all the other, PC handhelds out there, at least when they were brand new, or the ROG Ally X, this device would have a much harder time competing. Sure, 2 terabytes is nice, but you could just upgrade it yourself after the fact, and you don't necessarily need that much storage on this kind of a handheld. I've got along just fine with 1 terabyte worth of storage on my Steam Deck as it is, but that could just be a me thing. The overall design of this device looks very nice. I really like the accent colors, the full-size face buttons. I am a little concerned about the D-pad. It is that Xbox 360 transforming style D-pad. I wasn't a huge fan of that, but in all honesty, this D-pad probably wouldn't be used for much. On these kinds of handhelds, I'm mostly playing, AAA, first-person shooters and Minecraft and stuff like that. I don't necessarily need a ultra high-quality D-pad. I just need one that is good enough. Moving along to other things that I hope that are just good enough is the battery life. The battery life has yet to be seen of how well it's going to actually hold up, but there have been some hands-on reviews by other media outlets, and outlets like Tom's Hardware, PC World have had some hands-on with the device. And with a 50 watt-hour battery, I would only expect maybe a few hours of gameplay on this device, very similar to the original ROG Ally. I can't be certain if that's actually how the battery life is going to go, but judging on all the past devices we've experienced so far, my expectations aren't terribly high given the fact, like I said, it has a only 50 watt-hour battery. Now that we've discussed pricing a little bit before, I'm circling back around to shipment. When should we expect this device? Considering that we already have just a ton of these media outlets having early reviews, first looks, and just hands-on with the device, I would suspect that it should be releasing in the next couple of months, especially considering that this is a, rebranded device from an entirely different company. So that should expedite the process considerably in comparison to something like the Steam Deck. From announcement to release, it was a few months. But for this device, I suspect it might be a couple of weeks to a month before we probably see pre-order start popping up for this device. The only way I see this device being competitive in the current PC handheld landscape is if it is at a very competitive price point. If it is at that same $800, $700 that you find the Legion Go and the ROG Ally X at, it'll have a pretty tough case for you to buy it, especially considering how much of a performance gap there is with the ROG Ally X and all of its other devices it gets compared against. And this device, its only main selling factor is that it has 2 terabytes of storage. And sure, that might be enough for some people, but at $800, that won't be enough to convince other people. Ideally, I would like to see it around the $500 price point. $500 is unlikely, but $600 I feel like is a pretty decent price point, maybe around $650. At that price, it really competes with the 1 terabyte Steam Deck OLED. It competes with older original ROG Allies and just standard Legion Goes. And when compared to those devices, this looks pretty decent, especially if it is at that price. And I would be happy to see this device when it comes to open box and use sales prices, because honestly, if it starts at $650, it should drop pretty quickly. It's really awesome seeing Acer take their first step into the ring when it comes to PC handhelds. Though different their approach may be, it might be a winning approach. It's really awesome seeing more and more companies take this PC handheld category more seriously. I would like to see this device also being sold alongside the ROG Ally and Legion Go in stores like Best Buy. I would love to see more of these handhelds out on display, just so more people can actually touch them and see them in person before deciding whether or not they can buy them. I would love to hear what you guys think down below. What do you want out of this device? Do you want it to be around $650? When do you want it to be released? I would love to hear what you guys think about this down below. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. All the other social media coverage down below. And last but not least, have a wonderful day.